Hey team, welcome to yoga. So happy to be doing a flow with you today. We're going to start on our backs in Shavasana. Come on down. Find your yoga mat. You don't really need anything else. Get comfy, palms face up. Take up as much space as you need. Start to tune into your breath. Start to pay attention to how your body feels. Start to soften your forehead and your jaw. Really just land here on the mat. Let yourself feel heavy. We will be working on our hamstrings today. Keeping in mind that it's a very tight area for a lot of people. And just be prepared to accept the level of mobility that you're at right now. Find contentment and acceptance for your body. Know that intentional practice, focused work can change your outcomes, but acceptance of where you're at is step one. Finding the right expression of the pose that works for you so that you can actually start to change the way your body moves and feels, rather than going for the hardest version right away, not acknowledging what your body needs in that moment can cause more harm than good. So be patient with yourself. Recognize those negative thoughts as they come up. And return to your breath to stay relaxed, focused, present. Hug your right knee in towards your chest. Interlace your fingers on your shin. And start to draw some circles with your knee. Notice if you have any pinching or popping or cracking. And switch directions. Find stillness. Pull your knee in a little bit closer. Let your shin go and interlace your fingers at the back of your leg, just above your knee on your hamstring. On your inhale, flex your toes up and kick your heel up as high as you can, intending your leg towards straight. And then bend it again. Does not matter how far you go. Looking for that length in the back of your leg. Keep your toes flexed. Toes come towards your shin, towards your face. Do 2 more. Hug your knee back in towards your chest. Bend your left leg, sole of the foot on the ground. Reach with your right hand to the outer border of your right foot. Sole of your foot comes up towards the ceiling. Right knee comes towards right armpit for half happy baby. Left hand can go on your left hip to remind it to stay grounded, or you can put it out to the side to help you balance. If you're not feeling the ability to grab the outside of your foot, you can always grab for your ankle or your shin, wherever you can reach today. Release your right foot, send your right leg long, hug your left knee in towards your chest. Start to draw some circles. And switch directions. Find stillness. Hug your knee in a little bit closer. Interlace your fingers on the back of your thigh. Flex your foot. Kick your heel up towards the ceiling any amount. And bring your heel back in towards your butt. Lift up. Get active through your quad. And release. 2 more. Hug your knee back in towards your chest. Bend your right knee, sole of your right foot comes to the ground. Reach with your left hand for the outer border of your left foot, half happy baby. Intending to keep your lower back and pelvis anchored on the ground. If your tailbone comes up a little bit, that's okay. Just make a little note of it. The intention is to keep your tailbone flat on the ground if possible. We're doing a lot of forward folding today, working the full back line, hamstrings, back, neck. Preparing for releasing some of that tension that we have from working so hard to sit up all day. Release your left foot to the ground, the soles of your feet plant hip width distance apart. Palms face down, hands by your side. Walk your feet out a little bit further than you normally would in this pose. So your fingertips cannot brush your heels. Flex your feet so that your toes are lifted and you're on your heels. Lift up into a bridge pose. Keep your knees pointing forward. This longer bridge activates the hamstrings a little bit more. Glutes are on. Nice and slow, 1 vertebrae at a time, lower down. Noticing your pelvic tilt as you land, tailbone last. Walk your feet out a little bit further. You're on your heels, toes are flexed. Lift your hips up for bridge, longer bridge. Notice how the further away your heels are from your butt, the more your hamstrings turn on. Keep your core lightly activated. And slowly lower down. Stay here, or if you feel like you can go a little bit further, walk your feet a little bit further out. Last one, lift up. Longer bridge. And lower. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Grab the backs of your thighs, rock and roll up and down the length of your spine. Come up to seated. Find a butterfly pose. Soles of your feet together, knees wide. And grab onto your shins. Start by pulling your heart forward. Feel your hips tip forwards up on your butt bones. And then Tuck your chin. You can let your posture go just a little bit if it's really hard to hold. And interlace your fingers behind the back of your neck. So you're not tugging on your neck, you're just adding the weight of your arms to help your head be heavy. Slowly start to roll down your spine. Shoulder blades come apart. Finding a forward fold. If it's too much to have your hands on the back of your head, then don't do it. If you can land your elbows on your shins, go for it. Or maybe you make a little pillow for your head with your hands. But keep your chin tucked, rounding through our spine. Sometimes our ability to have really good posture is limited because our back muscles are so tight and they can't activate properly to hold us up. We have this long connected chain of tissue. Some of it's muscle, some of it's fascia, some of it's nerves and joints and all the things that make up our body. And it's not just our hamstring muscles that gets tight, it's this whole posterior chain. Part of that runs all the way up your back and into your neck, and you can really control the intensity of this stretch by how much you can tuck your chin. Slowly make your way up. Soles of the feet on the ground, knees point up. Take your right hand, feed it under your right knee, grab onto your left shin. Left hand under your left knee, grab your right shin. Start to lean back, tuck your chin, finding modified rabbit. Separate your shoulder blades. Working that upper body part of our forward fold. Getting into the posterior chain at the top. Again, notice when you tuck your chin, how much does this stretch intensify? If it gets too intense, you can back off a bit by sitting out. Come back up to seated. And come forwards into tabletop. Shoulders on top of wrists, hips on top of knees. Take a few cat-cows. Moving with your breath. Next time you're in cow, pause. Notice your pelvic tilt and how that can lengthen your hamstrings. And then slowly move to cat. Notice your pelvic tilt, notice how it shortens your hamstrings. And one more. Find neutral spine. Tuck your toes, bring your knees a little bit closer together and sit on your feet. Option to lift your hips up if this gets too painful, but try to sink your hips if you can. On your inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Shoulders stay down. Exhale, lower. 2 more. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, lower. Last one. Hands come to the ground in front of your knees. Lift your knees, drop your heels, lift your hips, forward fold at the back of your mat. If you're very tight, you can separate your feet a little bit wider. Grab your opposite elbows and gently sway from side to side. Let go of your elbows. Let your knees bend a little bit. And one vertebrae at a time, start to roll up to standing, starting with your tailbone that tucks down. And then your lower back. Thoracic spine stacks on top. And finally, your shoulders and chin come up. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, arms sweep down by your side. Tuck your chin. Reverse your roll up, rolling back down. Shoulders come forward. Let the weight of your arms and head pull you down. Notice how your pelvis tips. You can bend your knees as you lower. Hands come to the ground. Knees land, sit on your feet. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, arms sweep up. Hands to the ground. Drop your heels, lift your knees, lift your hips, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Hands can come to knees or shins. Exhale, lower. Inhale, halfway lift. Shoulder blades retract. Exhale, lower. Last one, inhale, halfway lift. Notice the tip of your pelvis. Hip bones should be pointing down. Butt bones should be pointing back behind you. And lower. Hands to the ground. Drop your knees. Lift your heels. Sit on your feet. Pause here. That fascia that I was talking about, the connective tissue that runs down the length of your body, goes all the way into your toes. Your nerves that make you also are tight, they control how tight your muscles get. Those run all the way into your feet, and stretching out your feet can really affect the mobility of your hamstrings. So sit with this discomfort, keep breathing. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, hands to the ground, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, stand all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, arms sweep up. Forward fold. Halfway lift, flat back. Hands to the ground, walk yourself forward, downward facing dog. Spread your fingers wide, press into your hands so your shoulder blades are wide on your back, and walk your dog. Straighten one leg, bend the other. Intend one heel to the ground and then the other. Then lift your hips as high as you can. Press your weight back. Find stillness. One breath. Bend your knees, look at your thumbs, step forward, forward fold at the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stand all the way up, reach up, look up. Hands to your heart. Take a breath here. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, and pause. Sweep your arms back behind you, palms face down. Exhale, sweep your arms forwards so that your biceps frame your ears. Hold this flat back position. Knees are soft, so your back can be flat. Sweep your arms back. Support your lower back with your core. Sweep your arms forward. Last one, sweep your arms back. Keep your gaze steady. Sweep your arms forward. Pause. Forward fold, let it go. Hands to the ground, step back, high plank. Pause here. Hug your right knee in towards your chest. And then land your right knee. So you're kind of in like a table with your left leg straight. Kickstand your right foot over towards the right so your shin is parallel to the short edge of your mat. Pivot your left toes to the left. Come into modified side plank. Reach your left hand up towards the top of the mat, side stretch on the left. Circle your left hand all the way down to land back on the mat. Pivot to face forwards. All 10 toes point forwards. Lift your left leg. Step it towards the left so that your leg is straight. All 10 toes point forwards. Rock your hips forward. Rock them back. Tap your heel. Rock forward. Rock back. Do a few on your own. Getting into the adductors, the inner thigh, the hamstrings are also involved in adduction. The semimembranosus is one of the hamstrings, pretty sure. Next time you sit down onto your back foot, pause there, lift your left toes up towards the sky. Option to walk your hands a little bit further forward, coming into an active, wonky looking child's pose. Pull yourself forward, reset your hands. Hug your left knee in towards your chest. Step your left foot forwards to your left thumb. Lift your arms up, low lunge. Engage through your glutes. Tip your tailbone down. Front of your hips lift. Neck is long. Sweep your hands down by your side. Send your hips back. Straighten your front leg. Half split. We're going to try and do this without our hands on the ground, and we're going to try and control the intensity by tipping our pelvis forward. On your inhale, sweep your arms up, low lunge, drop your tailbone. And on your exhale, sweep your arms down, straighten your front leg, lift your tailbone, drop the front of your hips, half split. 2 more. Move through this at your own pace. Feeling whatever sensations you feel in your body without judgment, knowing that this is where you are at this time. Take what you need to have intentional practice towards the outcome that you're looking for. Pause and half split. Come forwards for lunge. Hands frame your front foot, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. Left arm sweeps up, easy twist. Left hand comes to the ground, step forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees enough that your chest can come onto your thighs. And then give your legs a hug, wrap your arms around the backs of your hamstrings. Drop your hips a bit, and then lift your hips, try to straighten your legs and keep your belly on your thighs. This can be a very small movement. It's the intention that matters. Send those hips to the sky. 1 more. Let your arms go. Tuck your chin. Start to roll up to stand. Pause at the top. Take a breath. Inhale, circle your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, pause. Sweep your arms back behind you. Sweep them in front of you. 3 more times. Use your low abs, the ones underneath your belly button, to support your lower back. Bend your knees as much as you need to tip your pelvis forward so your back can be flat all the way to your tailbone. The last time your hands are forward, pause. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to the ground, step back, high plank. Hug your left knee in towards your chest. Drop your left knee to the ground. Kickstand your left shin over towards the left. Drop your back heel. Right arm sweeps up for modified side plank. Reach your right arm forward towards the top of the mat. Circle it down. Pivot yourself so you face forwards again. Lift your right foot. Step your right foot level with your left knee over towards the right, coming into table with your right leg straight and out to the side. Rock your hips back. Rock them forwards. You can control the intensity by moving your right foot further forwards or further back. If you feel a lot of tugging through the inside back of your knee, feel free to keep your knee a little bit bent. Most likely it's the muscle moving over the tendon. It's getting a little bit stuck. As far as I know, it's pretty normal. Pause when your hips are back. If you can, lift your right toes towards the sky. Option to walk your hands a little bit further forward. Forehead intending down towards the mat in this more active, wonky looking child's pose. Pull yourself forwards. Hug your right knee in towards your chest. Step your right foot to your right thumb. Reset your stance if you need to. Sweep your arms up, low lunge. Drop your tailbone. Engage through your left glute. And spread your fingertips wide. Lots of space between your biceps and your ears. Sweep your hands down by your side, send your hips back, straighten your front leg, flex your front toes, half split. Moving at your own pace between these two shapes. Using the tip of your pelvis to control the intensity. Squaring your hips at the back in your half split, plugging your right hip back, pushing your left hip a little bit forwards. Pause in half split. Come forwards, low lunge. Hands frame your front foot. Lift your back knee. Ground your left palm. Right arm sweeps up, easy twist. Right arm comes down. Ground your hands. Step forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Step your feet together so your big toes touch and your heels are slightly separated. Grab opposite elbows. Knees can be a little bit bent. Let your back of your neck be long. Again, notice how tucking your chin might intensify this stretch. And making sure you don't fall over, so get really stable. Rock your weight a little bit more forwards into your toes. Just feel the differences in your body. Rock back into your heels. It's really subtle, but you can feel it all the way up your posterior chain. Rock your weight forwards into your toes and balls of your feet. Rock back. One more. Rock forward. And rock back. Bend your knees a little bit so you can tip your pelvis. One vertebrae at a time, start to come up to stand. Pause when you get there, palms face forward. It's like Shavasana, but you're standing, mountain pose. Connect to your breath, close your eyes for a second. On your inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, pause. One time, sweep your arms back behind you. Sweep them up over your head in front of you. Hands to the ground, forward fold. Step back, high plank. And bring your big toes to touch. Roll onto the outside edge of your right foot, stack your feet, lift your left arm, side plank. Lift your hips high. Squeeze your legs together. Left hand down, come onto your toes for plank. Squeeze your right knee in towards your chest. Step your right foot forward to your right thumb. Staying high on your back toes. Feet are on separate tracks. Lift up, crescent lunge. Back knee bends so that you can keep your pelvis level, pointing up, tailbone is dropping. Sweep your arms down by your sides, straighten your back leg, tip your hips forward, lean your torso forward on a 45-degree angle, runner's lunge. Crescent lunge. Bend your back knee, pelvis is level. Two more like that. Tip forwards. And come back up. One more. Pause in your runner's lunge. Square your hips. Right hip comes back, left hip comes forward. Land your left hand, right hand to the sky, easy twist. Right hand comes to the inside of your right foot, pivot all 10 toes to face the long edge of the mat. Crawl your hands towards the back and lunge into your left leg for skater. Hips stay high, about as high as your knee. Back is flat, hands can support you. Crawl towards the top of your mat, skater on the right. The back of the mat, skater on the left. Crawl your hands towards the front of the mat. Pivot all 10 toes to face forwards. Hands frame your front foot. Check that your feet are on separate tracks for balance. Get strong through your back leg. Lift your torso and sweep your hands behind you, runner's lunge. Start to lean forwards. Find a focal point for your eyes. Lift your back leg, come forwards for warrior three. Legs are straight. Return to your breath. We're in that same shape we did in half lift, but with our left leg lifted. And stand up. Hands by your side. Take a breath. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, pause. Sweep your hands back. Sweep your hands forward. Forward fold. Hands to the ground, step back, high plank. Bring your toes together. Roll to the outside edge of your left foot, right arm sweeps towards the sky, side plank. Squeeze your legs together. Come back into plank, right hand lands. Squeeze your left knee in towards your chest. Step your right foot forwards, your left foot forwards to your left thumb. This side we haven't done yet. Check that you're on separate tracks with your feet. Arms sweep up, crescent lunge. Bend your back knee. Arms sweep down by your side, tip forward, runner's lunge. On your inhale, lift up, crescent lunge, back knee bends. Tip forwards. And lift. One more, tip forwards. Pause, square your hips. Right arm lands, left arm lifts, easy twist. Left hand comes down to the inside of the left foot, pivot all 10 toes to face the long edge of the mat, skater on the right. Maybe you can go a little bit lower this time. Crawl your hands to the top of the mat, skater on the left. Skater on the right. See the top of your mat, hands frame your front foot. Step forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the ground, step your right foot back for your lunge. Make sure your feet are on separate tracks. Get strong through your back leg. Lift your torso, sweep your hands down by your sides. Runner's lunge. Start to lean forward. Find that focus point for your eyes, your balance point. Lift your back leg. Warrior 3. Chest is proud. Back toes point towards the ground. Stand up, arms by your side. Land your feet. Hands to your heart, take a breath. Circle your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the ground, step back, high plank. Drop your knees, hips to heels, child's pose. You can send your knees wide or you can keep them close. Whatever version of child's pose will be restful for you today. Start to reconnect to your breath, slow down your breathing. Recognizing that your mobility might not be one of your strengths, but once you accept where you're at without judgment, without putting a value on it, just notice how you're feeling. then you can take steps towards intentional practice to help yourself feel more comfortable, more at ease in your body. One of the words for yoga in Sanskrit, asana, the physical practice of yoga, it means to sit with ease. It's one of the big points of this practice, is to prepare the body to be able to sit comfortably. Pretty important for our world where we sit all the time. Find this balance in our muscles between strength and mobility. Pull your chest forward, tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward dog. Take a breath here. Bend your knees, step forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep your hands all the way up. Hands to your heart. Inhale, arms up. Forward fold. Halfway lift, pause. Sweep your arms back. Sweep your arms forward. Sweep your arms back and pause. Get a soft bend in your knees. Start to get more weight into your left foot. Lift your right heel. Without changing anything about your upper body, with control, step your right foot back, landing in runner's lunge. Pause here. Sweep your arms up, bend your back knee, crescent lunge. Drop your back heel, straighten your back leg, open your hips towards the right, arms reach, warrior two. Check in with your pelvis, make sure it's level. Check in with your front knee and tending towards your front toe. Flip your front palm, lean back, lift up, reverse your warrior. Left elbow to left shin, right arm reaches towards the top of the mat, extended side angle. Float back up, warrior two. Straighten your front leg, lift your front toes. Bend your back knee, hands to your heart, unsupported skater or skandasana on the right. You always have skater to come back to like we did the first time. Pause, take a breath. Come back up, warrior two. Lunging deeply into your front leg. Check in with your back foot. Make sure your big toe is just a little bit inside of your ankle. Straighten your front leg, arms lift up. Pivot your front toes towards the long edge of the mat. Wide-legged forward fold. Bend your knees a little bit. Try and get your head as close to the ground as possible. Like, use your hands for leverage a little bit. Get your chest low. And then notice what happens to your back. Can you keep this depth as you start to straighten your legs, or do you start to lift away as you straighten your legs? One more breath. Crawl your hands to the top of the mat, pivot to face forward, all 10 toes, hands frame your front foot. Step your back foot in about halfway, put it on a 45-degree angle, stand up. Sweep your arms up overhead. Both legs are straight and strong, keeping your back flat. Start to tip forward. Front leg is straight, square up your hips. Sweep your hands down by your side for active pyramid. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, sweep down. Getting into that front hamstring. One more sweep up. Chin reaches forward, chest reaches forward, fingertips reach back. Pause here. Square your hips. Bend into your front knee, fingertips come to the ground, step your back foot further back. Left arm sweeps up, easy twist. Left arm comes to the ground. Get strong through your back leg. Sweep your hands by your hips. Retract your shoulder blades. Runner's lunge. Lift your chest. Find your focal point for your eyes. Start to lean forwards. Fly forwards into warrior 3. Back leg lifts high. Keep this position. Keep your focus. Sweep your arms up. Biceps beside your ears. And sweep down by your hips. Arms up. And arms down. Last one, arms up. And come to stand. Hands by your side. Take a breath. Close your eyes. Inhale, sweep your arms up, last one. Forward fold. Halfway lift, pause. Hands come back. Hands come forward, strong through your core. Hands sweep back, pause. Get a bend in your knees. Transfer your weight into your right foot, lift your left heel. Lift your left foot. As quietly, as gracefully as you can, step back into runner's lunge. Arms sweep up overhead, bend your back knee, crescent lunge. Drop your back heel, open up towards the long edge of the mat, warrior 2. Flip your front palm, lean back, reverse your warrior. Lean forwards, right elbow, right knee, left arm reaches up overhead towards the top of your mat, extended side angle. Float back up, warrior 2. Straighten your front leg, lift your front toes, hands to heart center, Skandasana on the left. Deep lunge. Option to go for skater if that's better for your body. You know how you feel. You know what your body needs. You just have to listen and accept without judgment where you are at in this practice today. Pause here. Take another breath. Come back up, warrior 2, bend deeply into your front knee. Check in with your back toes. They probably started tipping towards the back of the mat. Point them just a little bit forwards. Arms reach up, straighten your front leg, pivot your front toes to the long edge of the mat. Wide-legged forward fold. Grab opposite elbows. Let your upper body be heavy. Let the back of your neck be long. Option to interlace your fingers. Grab onto your head. Just to add some weight, not to pull. If this feels okay for your back. Make sure you're a little bit pigeon-toed in. So your big toes are just a little bit closer than your feet, than your heels.
And just like we did in forward fold, just very subtly start to lean your weight forward into the ball of your feet and your toes. Notice how that changes the stretch. And start to lean back into your heels, maybe lift your toes. And lean forward. Pause. Hands come to the ground. Crawl your hands towards the top of mat. Pivot all 10 toes forward. Left arm grounds, right arm lifts, easy twist. Right hand comes to the ground. Find yourself on separate tracks with your feet. Sweep your arms back by your sides, retract your shoulder blades, runner's lunge. Hands come back to the ground. Step your back foot in about halfway, 45-degree angle with your left foot. Right toes point forwards. Get strong through your legs and stand up, arms circle up overhead. Sweep your arms down by your side, tip your chest forward, front leg stays straight, square your hips. Reach your chin forward, reach your chest forward, flat back. Inhale, sweep up. And move with your own breath, moving through this a few times. Last one, reach up. And reach down, pause, square those hips, pull your right hip back. Bend into your front knee, land your hands, step your back foot further back, easy twist. Right hand comes down, square your hips, lift your hands to beside your waist, retract your shoulder blades, runner's lunge. Lean forward, take off with your back foot, warrior three. Airplane. Extra challenge, sweep your arms forward and sweep them back. And sweep forward and sweep back. Last one, sweep forward. Come on up to stand. Hands by your side. Take a breath. Almost there. Inhale, arms reach up. Forward fold. Last forward fold, check in with yourself. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands to the ground, step back, downward dog. Drop your knees. Sit your hips back, swing your legs forward. Coming into butterfly. And grab onto your shins. Draw some circles with your torso. Getting into the sides of your waist, hips. You can use your elbows to press your thigh down as you draw your circle. Go in the opposite direction. Find stillness. Bring the soles of your feet to the ground. Carefully lower all the way onto your back. And knees stay bent, soles of your feet on the ground. Cross your right knee over your left knee. Pick up your hips, shift them towards the right. Let your knees fall over towards the left for a spinal twist. Right arm can come into a cactus or a T shape. Left arm as well. Look wherever is comfortable for your neck. You can tip your chin towards the right. Slow down your breathing. Start to let that practice go. When we appreciate where we are right now in this moment, we know how to take the next step forward. If we don't know where we are, it's really difficult to find a path to where we want to be. Acceptance is part of how we can move to make change in our lives. Come back up to center. Bring your feet as wide as the mat. Let your hips windshield wiper, knees windshield wiper from side to side. Come back to center. And cross your left leg over your right. Pick up your hips, shift them towards the left. Let your knees fall towards the right. Spinal twist the other direction. Same options for your neck. Come onto your back. Recenter yourself. Give your knees one last hug. Pull your forehead in towards your knees. And then let it go. Legs go long. Arms by your side. Shavasana. Corpse pose. Let your eyes close. Tune into your breath. Breathing in and out through your nose. Starting to deepen through your inhales. And lengthen your exhales. We have all changed in the last 14 months. Lockdown, pandemic. And as we start to open up again, going back out into the world, things start to feel possible. And we think about our lives post-coronavirus. It's okay to acknowledge that you don't necessarily feel super ready for what's going to come. If you feel like you've changed and you don't know how this new you will fit in this new world. That journey starts with accepting where you are in this moment in time, who you are in this moment in time. And from there, your new journey can begin. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Roll your wrists and ankles, let your head fall from side to side. Eyes can flutter open. Take a big stretch. Hands reach up over your head, toes away from fingers, and relax. Slowly, however you need to, make your way up to seated. Hands to heart center. Thank you so much for doing yoga with me today. Namaste.